Mark,
Welcome, everybody.
I'd like to officially announce that I'm recording.
Great. Happy you are. Thank you for letting us know. Welcome, everybody, to everyone in person and to our hundreds and thousands of listeners at home. We appreciate you joining us. And welcome to our town administrator and assistant town administrator, head of HR, joining us this evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you all again for your flexibility and joining us tonight later than expected. We're gonna move right into it. Calling to order at 7:32. 7:32.
Oh, you're further, I'm like, what do you mean, it's 7:02? I'm still in that 7 o'clock mode, sorry, Mark.
My pleasure. So call to order, moving on to our annual election of officers.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
I would like to make a nomination. I know Mark has done a great job serving us this year. You've really stepped up to the plate and learned a lot, I think. And now I'd like to say in our rotation of people who take on, I'd like to nominate Maria. I believe it is her turn. You've been here 2 elections and this is your 6th year.
Yes.
6th year. And so I would like to nominate Maria.
Thank you, Allison.
I would like to nominate Mark. I think, since I've been on the board, I think, we've worked well together, and with the transition to a new director, I think stability is important, and also the trustees have had a tradition of chair serving multiple, years. Donna, Melissa, and others before that, and a lot of other boards and committees in town do the same thing, so I nominate Mark.
Much as I appreciate that, Costa, I'm really surprised because you're a big supporter of switching the rotation at the select board yearly.
I
They
second
follow
the
that.
motion for Mark.
The select board tradition of rotating, this pre-existed my
I
being
believe
on.
every board in town does that.
No,
Sure they do.
the school committee, Michelle Aiken was the chair for several years in a row. Before that, I think Natasha served multiple years in a row. Before that, Tasha Cooper and Teresa Bono, the planning board, people. So, the select board is the exception. I think, not
Do
the
you
norm.
not feel that Maria in her
Uh,
second
this-
term, her last year potentially deserves a rotation mark? I appreciate the work you've done, of course. I've nominated Maria regularly. But I'm asking this year, as Maria's last year on our board potentially, that she has the expertise, and I think she certainly deserves. I'm not asking for myself, although I guess I would be next in line as senior member of the board. But I would say Maria is our senior member of the board here, and I just think that it makes sense for this town to bring her on as our chair and give her the honor and the respect due.
I guess that's what Costa's looking to do.
It has nothing to do with Maria, it has to do with the reasons I stated.
But Costa, I looked at select board meetings, I don't want it to be a debate per se, it's uncomfortable as it is. But I've looked at several select board meetings and you were a very, very, very strong advocate for rotating, and when people didn't rotate, for example, your most recent select board meeting, Jeff nominated Deb and she declined because she didn't want to do it, same thing the year before. When people repeat chairships, it's not just because they don't repeat them, it's because someone hasn't really wanted to take that on, as you just recently had at your board. So it's not quite the full story of what you're saying, because you have been yourself have been a very strong advocate for changing up the chairship each year. Unless someone did not want to take the post because they were too busy or they didn't feel as though they were comfortable with it. So that's the truth of the matter.
Costa, can you not find it in your professionalism to
Fine.
support?
I made,
He's made his decision, Allison. He's made it very clear.
I've given you the reasons why I made that nomination. Yeah, that's,
In agreeing with Costa, I feel continuity is important here, and while I appreciate all you've both said, I would accept it and appreciate it, and I think Susan, you just seconded
it.
so I guess at this point, is there hearing not a second for Maria?
I'll second myself.
Okay,
More than happy to second myself.
we'll put it to a vote, which is, so those in favor for.
Can I
Maria?
ask you, Costa, what are you so nervous about, Mark? What are you so worried that Maria will do next year? I just need to hear from you because it's baffled me that I haven't had a rotation as chair. It just baffled me, and I'd like to know what you're so concerned and worried about. She's a great leader and she knows this library.
It's probably nothing that anyone needs to have on camera or on.
Oh, I think we
public
need
record.
our public to understand. I
That's not-
definitely
that's
think
not a
this
nice thing
has
to
been
say.
dysfunctional for these reasons, and I think the public absolutely needs to understand why.
Mark just gave
She was
As a nasty
reelected.
comment.
You have not been reelected.
So.
You don't even have experience.
So I have two votes for Maria, and
I don't
then,
think anybody voted Mark yet.
well, I opened it up, but I didn't hear anything, but I'm assuming. So those in favor for Maria for chair,
Aye.
Oh,
Allison.
Right there,
Maria,
that was done appropriately.
and those in favor for me,
right.
Aye.
aye. Motion carries.
well, 3-2, Maria, another year, 3-2.
It's okay, Allison. I was elected by the people to support the town and I continue to do that in good faith. It's fine with Mark as the chair. He will continue on. I always try to offer my assistance when papers get missing, things sometimes happen, and I always help Mark out occasionally and more than happy to continue that as a good trustee.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I've done that many times.
Thank you.
It's very disappointing, Mark, very disappointing.
Noted.
okay.
Thank you. Moving
Such is life.
quickly on to approval of minutes, item C, for our last meeting on May 12th. We have any edits need to be done on the minutes for May 12th.
I didn't really, is Stephanie on?
Yes.
She is.
I'm here. I'm here.
As usual, lovely minutes. I thought you got a little wordy this month, repeating things, if you want to condense it for the future, but very nicely done. I would like to ask Loretta a question. This might go later in the agenda, but it's brought up in the minutes, so that's the only reason I'm pointing it out now is under your director's report, it says the last bullet, you stated that there will be CPR training next month to get recertified.
Mhm.
Is that gonna come up under your report this time around?
The town is offering the CPR.
So we're gonna get to chat about it? Okay, then I'll wait until it pops up on the agenda, but. Other than a little wordy, Stephanie, good job.
Good, thank you.
So.
Move to accept this presented.
To accept by Costa, second,
I'll second.
Sue, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Annie, welcome. If you'd like to update us, Friends of the Fund, please.
I'm happy to, thank you, Mark. Our annual campaign is currently at $12,109 through the end of May. We did indeed file our FY 25 taxes with the state and paid the filing fee that is required. I mean, we're not for profit, so we don't have to pay taxes, but we have to file and show that we get money in and pay money out. I did do an analysis, just for the reference for the people who listen and also for the board. Since January, the Friends in Programming and Supplies have paid out $6,938.04. And the building funds, which, as you may remember, that we did have some funds that carry over from the building project that we had. And so we use those funds to update the library, building things that, you know, come up every once in a while. We're very fortunate, actually, that we have access to those funds. And since May, we've paid $3,720.50. And that is for landscaping, as well as this beautiful mat that is outside the front door of this building. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mark.
And what's the balance of the building funds?
It's slightly over $200,000. It took me 10 years, but I finally convinced the committee to put it in a Fidelity, very conservative investment fund, and we benefited greatly by the investment. And we've spent the amount that we put in and the amount that we've spent, we have way more money. So it was a good choice to make.
Great. Well, as always, we appreciate your efforts and the entire Friends group. We appreciate all you do and they do. Thank you.
And all the citizens in the town.
Right, correct. Yes, we appreciate them as much. Couldn't do what we do without all of their support.
Absolutely.
Trustees report. Appointment of 2 trustees to the library director screening committee. It's our next agenda item.
So I would like to say what I said at the select board meeting when this topic was discussed, that I will not make myself available to serve on that committee. I've served on the last 2 screening committees, and I think it's somebody else can have a turn. And also, since I am on both boards, if I represent one board, it creates a majority of the other board on that committee that could pose, posting complications. And so there's no need for that. I'm sure there's 2 other trustees that would be eager to serve on that. And my recommendation would be, that the chair and the next senior member of the board that is willing to do it.
Well, thank you, Pastor, because I am that next senior and I'd be very happy to do
I
it.
think I'm the next one.
Oh, you're the next senior. Oh.
Didn't you
Maria.
just say that? Didn't you just say that?
That's new. I just-
It's offensive to me.
So are you gonna do it? Okay.
Yes, I agree. I'd second that. Oh, I thought you were saying that I am the senior. Yes, I am. I thought you were just saying I've been here a long time, so.
I would approve of Marie and Costas, and the chair being on that committee.
Thank you, Sue.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
I don't know if we need actually a motion. Do we need it?
Well, if you were appointing somebody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great.
Wonderful.
Any other discussion? Okay.
Well, Mark, I
Thank
will
you.
say, I do have way more library experience and I would be happy to be on this hiring committee. I've been on 3 before for other libraries and, since you have no experience with it, I'd be happy to be on it. I'm the next senior and I happen to have the most library experience.
I feel that I would feel more comfortable with Marie and Mark
Maria.
being on it. Maria. I'm
That's
sorry,
okay,
I
that's
keep calling you Marie.
That's okay,
I'm sorry.
Susan. That's okay.
Can I ask why,
Thank you.
Susan, why you don't respect my library experience?
I don't think-
Should anyone's respect.
I'm
We
not-
have to make a motion here?
If there was a motion and a second, you could vote it out because you are appointing somebody.
Okay, thank you.
It's just part of the discussion, Mark.
I understand. I wouldn't wanna have anyone's respect called into question. Again, reminding us that we're being recorded twice.
Well, I think that's a key. I like that.
I appreciate your recommendation, Susan, and I think I would like to be a part of it. So I appreciate your offer, Allison. I'll happily share this with Maria.
Perfect. No, I'm very, very comfortable if the
Thank
senior
you.
person needs to be on.
So, Constable, do you have a second, Susan? You
No,
said,
Susan made-
Actually,
Susan made
I
the
made, I had made a
Oh, you-
suggestion, and she made the motion, I seconded.
thank you. Stephanie, you heard all that? Working on confusing,
Yes, I
everybody.
got it. Thank you.
Do we vote?
So I guess we should vote. We're gonna do that. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So motion carries unanimously. Stephanie, thank you all.
Thank you.
Discussion of feasibility of joint meeting with select board on June 24th to appoint an at-large committee member.
Is it one member at large, Mark, or two? Thought they did more than one last time.
It would be two, well, two, what the select board, discussed was two select board members, two trustees, a representative of the Friends, and the two at large.
So it's two, even though it says,
There's one at large appointed by the board of trustees, one at large appointed by the select.
oh, now that makes more sense. Okay, so it is one for us. Okay, thank
But
you.
we'd like
Oh.
bring you together for the appointments because we've been collecting people.
Okay,
So we'll have a pool that you can both pick from.
or unless, what if somebody, I'm asking, sorry to ask Jackie then, what if somebody's, say I had a suggestion for someone, is that something people do? Like I suggest so-and-so.
So
Is
what-
that something you do on the
what we've
24th?
typically opened it up to is that people apply in advance.
Oh,
Certainly
okay.
people can be taken, if they show up that night and are like, I wanna be heard. Certainly chairs have historically allowed that to be happening, but to allow everybody to have time to review people, we typically seek the talent bank application
Oh, so it's
forms.
in the town, so if someone, so people.
It's
have
gonna
asked
be an
me.
other in the talent bank, cause it's not a standing committee,
Okay, so if someone's interested, I should tell them to go to the town bank on.
and they can just apply with the
Cause a
form.
couple people asked.
Yeah,
Yes, actually, people have asked
Please
me
do
as well.
encourage them to
Okay,
put in,
great.
cause then if you're meeting together, you can both pull people from the pool.
So they can
And-
do it as soon as possible, basically.
Or no later than the 18th, cause then I'll
Okay.
send a batch out to all members of both bodies in
So no
advance of
later
the
than
meeting,
the
so that you have time to review the applicants.
Thank you, Jackie.
Of course.
That helps.
And feel free to direct folks to our office if they're having trouble with that town bank, we're happy to
With
support.
yeah, sometimes when it's the.
Yeah, it's a little techie, I'm happy to,
Okay.
Chantel in our office is also available to help.
So you would go on the town website
Mhm.
and
There's an
Click.
online form, there's a PDF form, you can also come to our office and we've printed out forms. However,
And if
people-
if you still have your town meeting warrant book, there's at the end, there's the talent bank form.
you can just rip it out of your warrant.
I
fill
do
it in.
still have
Yeah,
that.
so then you have one at home.
Okay.
So you can give it to someone that's interested.
Yep, I do know someone who's.
Yeah, if they have their warrant book, they can just rip it right out.
Yeah,
Thanks, Cost, I forget I do that,
thank you.
appreciate it.
7 o'clock on the 24th, is that?
Is that what they're meeting, that?
So
They
the
meet
select
early.
board typically meets at 5.
Yeah, they meet early.
Where you all meet at 7.
I'm
Our
fine
agenda
with
to go that deep, but are you all
I'm
okay
fine
with
with
5?
five.
Yeah.
The 24th, is that?
We'd also, I'm sorry, excuse me, we typically take public comment at 6, so would we want the trustees to
Oh,
come at 6?
Yeah, for the sake of the candidates as well, actually, and you may get more of them to turn out if you do it at 6.
Does the meeting start at 5?
Yeah,
We would start at 5, the select board would start at 5,
Yeah.
but. we would
Do other
pause the original
business.
meeting At 6.
Oh, and it's down the line. Okay,
Yes.
I see what you're saying. So 6 PM for us to show on the 24th.
If that works with the group.
Is that?
Well, I do have a conflict. I will be out of town, but I was hoping I could join by Zoom.
We'll put you up on the.
Happy
screen.
to, yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in my calendar.
Yeah, would you please, so that I can get the link because.
Oh,
It should be on the agenda.
Doing it right now,
It'll be on the agenda, won't
Okay, because I would like to zoom in.
do that right now.
Oh, no, I'm saying if she went online and saw, it does come up.
We don't do it on the agenda anymore,
Oh, you don't?
only
Oh.
for people who request it that are
Oh,
participants.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because we still do it on ours, right?
You do,
Yeah, we do.
it's a choice versus a
Gotcha.
statute.
I
Yeah,
just
my
thought it was
the committee
automatic.
there, and we decided not to also, so I understand.
Okay, thank you.
So-
So that, on that meeting, if I could ask, is that the only thing that the trustees would do in that meeting and then we could leave? Or is
Yes.
that there's other business for us to stay
You're
for?
always welcome to stay, but
Well, of
nothing,
course.
nothing relative to the
Of
library.
course, just, it's nice to know when you can leave the room. Okay, thank you.
So just to double check everything, make sure we have it right, 6 p.m. June
24th.
24th, 6 p.m.
At the li, at
It's a
the,
Tuesday.
at the library, the full of.
Full amount.
It's in the Zoom, it'll
Yep.
be out, right?
And now Jackie,
So-
will you
Oh,
be
that'd be
posting
great.
that?
Hmm?
Will you be posting that on behalf of the
I will,
trustees?
I'll take care of the trustees
Meeting?
posting for that evening, I'll coordinate.
I just need to,
Send us an invite to Mark, she said, Jackie's gonna send us.
Yeah,
an
Mark, I'll
invite.
send a calendar invite in a minute.
So we'll go to you, you'll get it. And you do it before,
I'll make sure it's in there.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're good with this, moving on to the education stipend application.
I can speak to this, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I had sent an email forward to the board, if you recall. Sometime back in January, I believe was the last time we had covered this topic. And, the reason it came up was that traditionally it was something that would come before the Board of Trustees. But due to a shift with the, soon to exist collective bargaining agreement, we were, in so many words, reinforcing that it's something that falls under the umbrella of the director. But with that said, we're in a little bit of a limbo right here in the meantime between the points of it transitioning from the trustees. To the existence of the collective bargaining agreement, which we anticipate hopefully to be stood up within the next month or two. I think that in combination, with the, upcoming departure of our director, we wanted to bring before the board, just as a courtesy, for the sake of transparency, as an FYI. So I believe the request or application, is in your packets, Jackie Rusin, and I think Jackie is on watching, right now. So, it is our intent to go ahead, just based on past practice, and award that with the understanding that it's not precedent setting and that it's something that is, actively being bargained in negotiations as part of the collective bargaining agreement. So no action is needed from the trustees at this point in time. It's,
Can you just repeat that? I'm sorry, I was listening too hard and kind of seemed like I missed the key words.
that happens to the best of us. So we're bringing it forward tonight just to notify the Board of Trustees and the public that we are going to be approving that. But we wanted to be transparent about it because of the upcoming departure of the director and
Approving what?
the request for the tuition
So
reimbursement.
it's a town decision, not a board of trustees decision?
It is actually from the director, but where the director is departing, we want to, as an act of further transparency, bring it forward because we are in a little bit of a state of limbo. But we anticipate the collective bargaining agreement that's going to be governing it moving forward. There won't be a need to go through this process any further.
But
But we're
tonight
just-
it is for the board to make a decision?
No, so we're just notifying you that we're gonna go ahead and do it, but we want to do it in a more public and open setting because there is the governing document right now that dictates how it's done.
If I could, if I may just jump in, we're sort of in a little bit of a murky spot only because we are using, I'm assuming, state aid to do this.
Mm.
So that would need to be voted on by the board on the dollar amount that would be spent out of state aid. So
I don't believe that we took that vote the last time we did it. Do you all remember if you voted on it? Oh, my apologies, then please.
Yeah,
Um,
prior to, the, unionization and then the collective, bargaining, the trustee policy, it was that, we voted on it. And it's, and using, state aid. When the unionization, was happening, we amended that policy so that the policy on, tuition reimbursement only covers non-union personnel. And because the union would negotiate, a educational reimbursement, as part of the collective bargaining. And I understand that, some of this got started, in midstream, and it would kind of be unfair to the person involved, not to do it. But, as Loretta said, this body, it needs to vote on it to access, the state funds, and that's the only reason for the board to vote.
Absolutely, and if that's the pot of money that it's gonna come from, that's absolutely fine, then I'm in agreement that it's at discretion of the Board of Library Trustees. If for whatever reason though it was not supported this evening, there is a line item through my office where we support individuals taking additional coursework or trainings or things like that we could cover it from as well.
So that brings up a question, then you're saying that you have a pot of money for it, or we could take it from our state aid, so that's a question in itself.
Mhm.
Wouldn't we want to use your money versus our money, so to speak?
Our preference would be that you'd use.
I'm sure,
this-
and
this
preference
aid.
be you use
Yes.
yours.
Because it's a much larger pot of money.
The state aid is,
That's
yes.
specific to the library, the pot of money we have, which is far smaller, covers the entirety of the town operations.
Oh, not just, it's not that piece, you say the pool that you have
Yeah.
isn't just for, each department has a pool of money, it's all.
It's just one that covers
Oh.
everyone
So
else. It's not
in
the
the,
library.
in the future, will this not come to the library for state aid?
It should not.
No,
And
so
so then it will no longer be,
From the state, from our state aid,
Except for the two non-union people,
Correct.
the director and the assistant director.
okay,
The,
that's all that remains after
That's
that.
interesting.
the, union employees, that's a union benefit, that's
So it'd be
negotiated.
the negotiations.
And they will be in the, wage and benefit.
separate line item. Yep.
And how far away are they from negotiating, if this would be paid for from the union monies? I mean,
It's not union money. Maybe we're not describing it well. So it'll be a union, it'll be a benefit available to folks under the umbrella of the union,
mhm,
but it's paid for out of a line item in the budget.
the one that you were mentioning.
It'll be a separate one that presently does not exist because we don't have a collective bargaining agreement. So once we have the collective bargaining agreement in place, it's gonna determine not just that benefit, but their salary and wages and any increases. That's something that's gonna have to go through the budget process.
So our state aid won't be impacted anymore unless for the director or the assistant director?
Correct.
And where do you get that? You said it's, once that's in
The
place, where's
annual-
that money?
Annual town meeting.
So it's town meeting
It'll be part of-
appropriation.
Yeah.
I see, it can't come from, has to come from somewhere.
We're in a gray area because we are actively bargaining.
Correct.
So, but likely, we'll resolve the contract at some point this summer.
Mhm.
And then this is like a one-time gray area,
Gotcha.
but this is the problem.
So, oh, sorry, Susan.
But Jackie, who did this class at the time that she took the class,
We need to respond to it in a time-sensitive manner.
well, but I wanna say it in the words that I'm saying is that took the course with the thought that she would be able to potentially, nothing's guaranteed, that her hope would have been that we would reimburse her for that, so she set herself up that way, so it's kind of, as you said, a gray area too, because to not fund this for her when she knew or expected that there'd be a reimbursement, I think would kind of be unfair in a lot of ways to Jackie.
Well, and that's why we're addressing it, is because we want, but because of the time frame we're in, we
Yeah.
would hope to be done bargaining, but
But she
obviously
just
we're
happened to get
not.
caught in that, and
And
that's
here
not
we are,
fair.
and we don't want to penalize anyone
No,
for,
that's what I mean.
timing.
I don't want someone, Jackie,
Yeah.
she does an incredible job. She's really great at what she does, but all the staff are great, but it's Jackie we're talking about here, and I just wouldn't want her to be punished like that. But I'm just trying to understand the buckets of money and how it's done, and
They're
Sue's trying to
important
ask the same questions, you know.
So I guess the comment that I had was twofold is, that we have, the board, based on our budget, has the decision to make of not only the request, but how much, because we've often had 2 or 3 educational requests and we don't always fund them all. 100%, of course, we absolutely support. And this is a great benefit, and I know with the union that will all come into play. But if we look at this document that you sent out, it says under eligibility, your first bullet is they have in order to be reimbursed during this collective bargaining agreement time, they have to be active, full-time, and Jackie is full-time,
Yep.
yes. And a union employee working at the Flint Library for more than 1 year. So she is not a union
They are,
employee.
so can I make an
Yeah,
important
so
nuance
that's my
here for you?
question, yes,
So while we don't have a collective bargaining agreement, a CBA in place,
okay.
they have unionized, so they
good.
are union employees
Oh.
without a contract because we are actively bargaining.
Okay.
So she is
Okay.
like, I think, she is perfectly eligible for this. It's simply a question of, do you want to use state aid or not?
Okay, well, no, I just want to make sure that we had not put this document in place and now we're ignoring the document. we put in
Not at all.
place.
It's a good
Okay.
clarifier,
Okay.
but they are union.
Oh,
They are union.
Okay,
We just
okay,
don't have an agreement with that union.
okay.
So we're
to make
looking,
a motion.
I was gonna say the same.
Okay, I'd like to
You're
make
the
a
right amount, what
motion.
amount are you
Go
looking
ahead,
at?
you can make the motion, I'll second it. For the total
The
amount,
total amount, go ahead, Sue.
$4,328
I'll second that motion.
From state.
From state
from
aid.
state aid.
Yes, thank you, second. We were on the same.
Second.
We were-
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, Stephanie.
Good job, Jackie. I know she's there. She can't talk though, she's muted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for
everybody.
clarifying that.
Next is an update on the Masco Scholarship recipient.
Mr. Chair, a message popped up from Jackie.
Oh,
Just so you all know you're
Thank you.
appreciated.
Notice.
Freddie, you should unmute her for a second so she could say.
I don't have her.
Oh, I thought you muted her.
Oh, hello. I can unmute myself. I'm just sitting here in my kitchen. Thank you all. I really appreciate all of the support and kind words that you have shared about this whole process. I'm really excited to be doing this and I appreciate the support and I'm blushing. So thank you.
You're welcome. We just wanted clarification because it's just
Yeah.
confusing.
We're really
Yeah.
glad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a confusing time right now.
Yeah, thank you.
For all of us, thank you. We appreciate you very much.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you as well.
All right, sorry to jump ahead. Thank you for noticing that chat and notification, Mr. Town Administrator. Next is the update on the Masco Scholarship recipient. We have a name, we have a person. I no longer have a checkbook or any money. So, I need to know how to do that.
Well, we will,
We have to request it from the
yeah,
town.
from the unrestricted funds that we turned over.
Yeah.
So there would be on the next warrants, we submit the name and amount for them to pay.
There is still one more warrant for beyond this one. Technically, there's two, but we will be putting one more warrant together for FY 25, so we can get it.
Okay, perfect, great, thank you.
And who was the?
Yeah, the recipient's name was Noah Venetia. I don't know. Went to school with Cindy Venetia back in 1970.
Oh, no, don't date yourself.
Oh, I'm old, it's okay. In elementary school, but I don't think she went past 7th grade, and I think the family moved away, so don't know if there's any relation. So to Noah and all the people who apply, we appreciate your support. This unfortunately is our last year doing scholarships. We've decided collectively. Moving on to the Essex Tech, I do not have a name yet. There was an awards night that I was unable to make it to. And I don't have a name. I have sent a note to Mr. Loring at the Essex Tech, and I'm waiting to hear back on that. But to update you on last year's recipient,
We finally got the
the check, I've closed out the account. The recipient got an extra 55 cents in interest.
I like it.
Yeah, and they were,
That'll pay for 10 minutes of a lecture.
probably not even. But yes, that is finally done.
And if you could follow up with this year's recipient, if we get a name and, you know, get it on in the same warrant as the Masco.
But yeah, I plan to, I will nudge. Mr. Moore again.
And I'll also work with you to get the necessary paperwork, because we're probably gonna need some sort of tax ID to get them set up as vendors.
Yeah, there was. Oh, if there's anything on this letter that we have. School Regional Scholarship Foundation.
We'll be sure.
Yeah, so there's nothing on there that I can see, other than where to send the check. All right, so moving on, passed over scholarships. IMLS funding cuts, the effects on Massachusetts libraries.
I did bring the latest to share with you all.
I have it from the sent us.
Is this different than the email?
It may not be.
No, it's just,
We all did get a latest email
yeah,
from the MBLC.
yep,
Yeah, I just
I
didn't,
think if you want,
recycle it then.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Loretta, did you want to share the news?
It's your topic, absolutely. Karen.
Oh, come on.
Go for it.
You asked for it.
Is
So
that the
you,
I
trustee?
just feel that it's going to impact our patrons. And I want them all to understand how much this board is disappointed that we are not gonna get the funding that we have been getting in the past for, IMLS is our databases, basically, to bring it down to the simplest level. It's our databases, and that many of the databases that we can access through our library, through the Merrimack Valley Consortium that we are members of, are no longer going to be funded and available to us. That doesn't mean that our staff and all the MVLC libraries aren't happy to field questions and dig for you and get the answers you need or suggest other materials. But we are seeing the effect of federal cuts to state library monies. Luckily, Massachusetts is very supportive of libraries, and it was a level funded budget primarily. And I will tell you, I was at the Mass Library Association conference this month and was able to proudly, thank you, Justin, say that Middleton, thank you, Costa, Middleton supports the Flint Library, and that we are level funded, and how very helpful and important that is for our town. And unfortunately, this is state money's filtering down. Is that covered?
Yes, I think it's worth noting that there are. So this is really affecting grants to libraries, and how libraries are using them. So e-content is affected, ebooks will be affected, but also to grants that libraries have used to fund, their bookmobiles. They're parked in parking lots right now. They are not able to drive them. They're not able to staff them. So they've already lost staff for these because these programs were grant funded. So, this is happening at our neighbors, right? In North Andover was
I think,
affected.
yeah, I think
So-
Andover as well.
Andover is, so really, a lot of the folks that are relying on these grant funds are already being affected. So, we'll see where it goes.
We don't have a bookmobile.
We do not have a bookmobile.
Maybe someday, but it still will affect us. It
Is
still
there
will.
ways that, like, the local towns can get together and come up with money to do some of these things?
That's gonna be my question. You said not funded and not available. Are they available, just not available because we're not funding them? And if, can we self-fund or can we
You really can't self-fund, Mark, because the expense of these databases is mitigated by being a participant in the Merrimack Valley Consortium.
So we are already kind of looking at some of the ones that are being canceled due to lack of funding, whether we can go in as a consortium and what the cost would be to continue that on.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm asking.
there is
maybe the
that
towns
discussion.
themselves can,
Right. So
Come
some
up
of
with
them are
some-
just too expensive.
They're just
We
very,
can't
yeah,
fund
very
them.
pricey.
So there are databases that, so a survey went around to Merrimack Valley Library Consortium directors. Asking which databases of the ones that we are going to see discontinued, which ones we would be interested in possibly purchasing. And then they will then go and see what the group pricing would be, which is the consortium to have of the more popular, voted ones.
Mhm.
So that has yet to be compiled. and
Yeah,
results
I
are
did-
distributed,
yeah.
But, so we're trying to look at solutions to
And
this.
what about some of our funding that we have as the trustees,
State aid. and that.
state aid or something like
So
that?
state aid can be used for databases, collections. We can use it for that.
Mhm.
But again, I don't know really what I have no idea where the cost.
No,
And the trouble, Sue, comes with, if you
So-
could possibly use state aid money to fund it this year, the continuation is very,
Right.
very expensive and difficult. And hopefully the funding will come back, you know, that's the hope. Can I ask you, you mentioned ebooks. I understood that Middleton was not affected by ebook budget, that we did not get a cut in the ebook budget.
Not this year,
Not this year.
but possibly. So, and that's one thing that we're seeing, you know, Massachusetts is kind of. For many of the services provided by the state, not all, but many, we're gonna be about a year behind. With some of the effects. Some will be immediate, but some will be about a year.
Yeah, and hopefully come back before they're gone.
Hopefully.
Yeah, just keep in mind that. I think, you know, federal funding will be impacted in other areas so that. You know, the state only has a limited amount of money and ability to, you know. Backfill any cuts in all these different areas and the towns and municipalities have. You know, even less ability to do that since. The amount that we can increase in any given year is 2.5%, so.
What I will say is that the Mass Board of Library Commissioners, who I've been working with closely through the Mass Library Trustees Association, is very strong and really working with the state. They're just excellent in how they have, and they ask us through these emails, they ask us to write to our congresspeople, state congresspeople, and get support for the budget. So thank you to the MBLC. And I do hope they can keep working for us the way they have been, because we're doing okay this year.
Thanks, Allison.
Yep, thank you for the update. Moving on to the director's report. For F,
Thank you.
take it away.
Thank you. So starting with the circulation and budget reports, we'll take a look at the circulation report first. Did you have copies if anyone would like one?
I would, thank you.
So I should
Sorry.
take one and pass it down if you need one. But I'll wait until folks have been in front of them this morning.
Feel free, it's such a joy.
So I was able to go through and clean up all of the items that we discussed,
The audio.
audio mainly. There were a few others, smaller numbers, but the largest one that affected our totals was the audio line, because we were not including, originally we weren't including our e-audio use. So those numbers are in there again. But again, that difference that we talked about this at last meeting, the difference is not quite accurate because last year's numbers, I don't think included the audio either. So the difference, I would sort of disregard this go around. But knowing that our circulation is already at over 82,000 is wonderful because that alone is record breaking. Even pre-pandemic. So.
I really
Yes.
love it that people say, why do we still need libraries? And here's why we still need libraries.
And that's one thing that I am so proud to talk about in the public, when they ask, is to say how many people come visit our small library and how many items we circulate, how many programs we offer. The services are amazing here and they're reflected in this report. So our attendance is up over 1,100 people year over year. So we're over 45,000 people already this fiscal year. So really good numbers. Yeah. You will notice that one, I did add in the young adult outreach on the far right column. So you can see the category that was added this year, young adult outreach, YA outreach. But you will notice that this month's May FY25 Commonwealth catalog numbers are not in. There's 2 blank cells. That's because the numbers haven't come in yet. So hopefully that will make its way into next month's CERC report for all of you to view.
Now, the outreach is that what you're doing at the center for the kids?
Yes, so the YA outreach is outreach to the youth at the DYS facility. Adult outreach, that's what we're doing for our homebound seniors. And J outreach is usually what we're doing at schools for pop-up story times at local businesses. Great question.
Yeah, juvenile fiction and juvenile nonfiction had big jumps. Any speculation as to why?
J fiction and nonfiction,
Yeah, juvenile fiction,
are you looking
year
monthly
to
or
date,
yearly? Yep, okay.
from 27,000 to 30,000, and juvenile nonfiction from 5,100 to 6,300.
Yes,
So
So,
what do you think?
so Stacy is our collection development librarian for children. And so she has heavily focused on weeding the collections, updating the collections, and re-shifting the collections and how they're shelved in the room and the space. So usually when you do a large weeding project, and you work in your space, you're just making it much more appealing to browse. And also too, we have newer content in our nonfiction and fiction collections as well. So it's just a much more browsable and appealing collection. We saw that same trend in our adult collection when we did our heavy weeding 7 years ago now. Same thing, it went up about, well, one collection was about 15 to 20%, and then 10% on another. So when the shelves are too crowded, it's like the Cheesecake Factory menu, I always say. It's like you can't, it's just too much. You're just overwhelmed. You can't find one thing that you want to eat. So weeding a shelf that's full and that you can't fit another item in it, when you weed it down and there's fewer, you find what you're looking for. So it's, that's a big part of it.
Is there a regular rotation of weeding out certain collections?
So I've encouraged staff to do annual weeding. And so depending on the size of the collection, it will either be 3-year or 5-year. So anything that hasn't served in 5 years or 3 years, or if it's just old, musty, gross, it's replaced. So we, for a while, weeding was sort of, neglected, quite frankly. But as we build up staff and we have the capacity to do regular meeting and get in the stacks, because it is very time consuming. You are in there, you're looking at material that, you can run reports on anything that hasn't circulated. But also too, anything that circulated once in 5 years is not gonna come up on that report. So you have to sort of spend time being like, I haven't seen this cross the desk, is this worth keeping? Or can I replace it with something newer that will serve?
And
So
let's be
it is
honest.
time consuming.
Let's be honest. Library staffers hate to send a book away.
Actually, so some, yes, but I don't find that on my staff. We actually have a lot of fun going through, because some of the things are so dated.
Oh,
And
no.
it's hysterical, they did not age well. And so we have, we have the joke of the month, like this week we did this one, can you believe it?
Kind
And
of
you're like,
elaborate.
why did this one even survive this long? But,
Is that where the anime line, if you run?
young adult.
I have a question, if
Yes.
nobody minds here, museum passes is down slightly,
Mhm.
379 to 354, is that trending year over year, same thing every year, or is it, is this a blip?
It could be a blip, it's change in circ, we don't really know. It also could be in large part due to the fact that we recently transitioned to a new software. So some of our passes are circulated in our circulation software, others are circulated in our online software, where you actually reserve the passes online through our website.
They would show up.
So if we're missing, if we forget one step in a circulation, you won't get that circ. So it could be
Just a.
in that transition of systems that things were getting counted.
Just not
It's
sure.
not a huge change, I'm not overly
not
concerned
alarming.
about it, I think it will level out as we kind of get more into the online. Everything will, hopefully eventually switch over to the.
So I would remind our dozens and dozens of online watchers of this, that there are museum passes available through your public library.
Yes,
Those of you not logged in now, but monitoring this, meeting later, in your fun weekend time.
museum passes, many of them get you in free or half price admission.
It's a great summer promo.
Mhm.
It's a great summer promo. Can I noticed the zeros, and it may be nothing, but the juvenile periodicals,
So, yes,
do
so
we stop having them?
we did, we got rid of that collection.
We
because it wasn't
did.
Circling. So occasionally you'll see maybe a one or two that, if one or two is circulated here coming in from another library, I don't think we've seen that this year, we have not. So that row will eventually be omitted so that we can make room for something else. I'm actually, well, maybe the next person coming in will break it out, because I would love to see a row for large print.
Oh,
Break that out from adult fiction and nonfiction and
but
have it be.
are there any juvenile magazines? Cause I know some of them are super popular. Are there any that are can we circulate them in the adult, like just put them on shelf in the adult
They
collection?
weren't going out, and that's why we got rid, it just was not a format that did well here, so we did away with it. And so other libraries have magazines and people aren't even requesting them in.
Okay.
So if there's anyone listening that's, or watching later,
Mhm.
that's interested in children's periodicals, you can check them out online, or you can borrow them from other libraries or let us know. Tell your friendly librarian. We always take recommendations.
I guess people get their own subscriptions at home for the ones they really want.
It's sort of a dying format. People just aren't.
Teen magazines, no longer a thing. I let my subscription.
You let it
expire.
lapse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Sports Illustrated for kids.
Highlights.
Ranger Rick.
Ranger Rick and highlights were my two favorite.
I like this.
Okay, so any other questions on the circulation report?
All set.
Okay,
Thank you.
fantastic. Moving on to the budget report, I also have printout copies if anyone needs one. Take one, pass it down.
Actually, I'm gonna take, that's all on page, mine's 2,000.
Here you go. Yeah, I pulled out the legal sheet from the office supplies.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Legal?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
haven't.
Mine's itty
It's nice and big.
Mhm. Well, it's not nice and big, it's bigger than it's.
Very true. I like paper because I take my notes.
So as you know, we are approaching the end of the fiscal year.
Thank you, though. She looked at them.
So we have 1 month left. You know, this is our last month of the fiscal year, so we are closely monitoring all our spending and our balances.
Mhm.
I want to point out, what looks a little bit different on this report is the second column for May. We are accounting for credits coming back to us. So the $390 credit, that was from One Up Games. They canceled a program and returned a check to us. So we put that back in our program line. It looks like a subtraction, but that's the way accounting works, and it's actually getting added back into our account. So
Credits and debits.
credits and debits.
Hated that class.
See, and I loved it, and I'm gonna miss this sheet. And the other one, the large one that went back into contractual was from the ENE, our HVAC company, ENE.
Oh, that double paid
The
bill.
double paid bill. So they sent us back a check and that went back into our contract.
Did you ever find out how we paid it twice when you said it normally would have a code on it or
So
invoice,
usually when you
invoice
enter it
number?
in Munis to pay, you have to
Yeah.
enter the invoice amount, the
Number,
invoice number.
yeah,
And so that way, if you're paying an invoice number to the
Twice.
same vendor
Mhm,
twice, it
yeah.
flags it. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It
That's
was not, it was before I went on leave and took everything over, so I don't know.
and so they found it to,
They said this has been applied twice.
well, that was nice of them
Yes, yes,
to not keep it.
they did not. Well, their books wouldn't have balanced, so. But anyway, so that's how we've got it back in our account. You will notice we are in a heavy deficit on our contractual. That is because of the bibliotemps that we had during the admin leave. However, I've been crunching numbers and I think we will have enough left in our payroll account because we haven't been paying an assistant director to cover that shortage. So it won't be a request of transfer of funds from the town. It shouldn't be any additional money. Fingers crossed.
Because because you didn't have bibliotemps for the month of June, that there'd be extra money, why would you have?
Because we haven't been paying an assistant director.
But the bibliotemps weren't the total of all the bibliotemps?
It's coming
All
out.
over there.
There's extra here.
So we signed a contract with bibliotemps, which is why it's being paid out of contractual,
Mhm.
but we haven't been paying our assistant director out of our
Salary.
salary and wages lines. So
Okay.
that money has been
I see,
accumulated.
all right, I
So
gotcha.
we're just gonna
It's in a
transfer
different
it.
category, a
Right,
different
correct.
line.
So it's going to be library budget that pays for it.
Yeah.
So
And you hope it.
hopefully it's going to
close.
cover it. in
Yeah,
full.
I gotcha, okay, thank you.
Yes, great question.
No problem.
So any other questions on the budget report as we look to spend down everything? Okay,
Okay, but commendable, I think that we're on target. I mean,
we always are. I am a stickler for the numbers. So. All right, thank you for that. My pleasure. I missed doing those reports, actually. It's sad, but I genuinely miss getting bogged down in these. Program statistics. That beautiful colorful sheet that you all, well, if you have a color printer, if you don't, it's black.
it's blackened.
I'm happy to take any questions that you might have on our program statistics sheet, but it's pretty straightforward. And we had in total 39 programs and 463 attended them live. We also had passive participation in our passive programs of 184 people for a total of 647 participants in library programming for the month of May. So,
My usual comment, I understand we're working hard and I commend Jackie and Stacy and Felicia
and Adrian.
and Adrian.
Yes.
I commend them. It's a tough group, but the tweens just wanna shake them.
We've been seeing strong attendance for the bulk of our tween programs. So
Well, then I'm looking in the wrong column.
They're more attentive than the other one.
the gaming club, we had 19, our tween teen program for the movie night, we had 23.
Those are
So
the passive programs.
those are not passive, those are live programs. So if it's passive, it'll be in that kind of purple shaded, well,
Yeah, but they don't have color.
the shaded area in the top of
Top
each
three.
category
Top.
is the
Top.
passive program. So
Of
the
that section.
children's that shadowed top three,
Mm,
those
okay.
were passive.
Yeah.
They're ongoing passive. People come in, they participate, and then they leave. The rest of them, the ones that are not shadowed out, those are our live programs with live attendance. If that makes
I
sense.
didn't, I misunderstood then the term passive, because when we were talking about the candy jars, people have to come in.
That's a passive program,
But
because
that's
it sits
passive
there on the
program.
counter, people come in, they put in their guests, and then they leave,
And
but it's
they leave.
all month long. And usually our passive programs are at least a month long. So the wall craft, our craft corner, our DIY, craft corner,
Right.
and
So
then
those are children's.
correct.
Yeah, those are children's. Yeah. I'm just saying the tween times.
Those were
sadly.
all live.
Yeah, sadly, the Peace and Paws, which I have a dog who uses a therapy pet, and I've participated in a lot of.
Those
live
are
programs.
individual sessions, so we can
Yeah.
only have one per session. So those numbers are never going to be very high.
Huh,
So it's one-on-one with the dog.
huh. Okay. Yeah, I've been to programs where there have been hundreds of kids lining up for hours to meet these dogs, so it,
Take me to that library. Hundreds of kids, I'll go.
yeah.
I've heard nothing but.
But no, but
positive.
it's a chance for a child to read without judgment. So they don't want an audience.
Correct. No,
They read to a dog,
Yeah.
and so they have a 15-minute session. The dog is here.
That's
so
a
it's
shame,
45
that's a
minutes to an
great,
hour.
great program.
But it's one-on-one. So
Yeah.
That way there's no pressure of reading in front of a crowd.
Yeah,
So that will, like I said, that program will not see high numbers.
and that's what we offer for tweens.
It's
Definitely.
one of the programs. that we
Yeah,
offer.
definitely the STEM club is a great thing. Again, sadly, only 6 tweens.
To get 6 tweens.
Again, these are.
I know, it's very
correct.
hard.
With
Yes.
everything that they're doing, these are good numbers.
I mean,
Yeah.
nobody is like, after school, these kids are like hooked to the mat.
Yeah.
So to get 6 kids
It's wonderful.
is wonderful.
We'll take a lot more, we'll do some brainstorming, we'll keep at it.
Any other questions on the program statistics?
I was just gonna comment that I've heard, again, this month, had some really good feedback on our programs.
We have a lot of people, in town that come to our programs, but we draw in a lot of residents from other towns coming to our programs because we offer some of the best.
Yep, I've heard that regularly.
Likewise. So fantastic programming from the staff. Any other questions before I move on? Perfect. On to staffing updates. So I am in the process of reaching out to circulation assistant applicants. We had, Jackie, how many did we have? Like 50?
55.
Applicants for what?
The circulation assistant.
I'm not surprised.
So we're down to circulation assistants. We
That's
had,
part-time, right, Loretta?
Part-time.
Those are part.
yes,
Yeah,
part-time
that's a
positions.
big reason, I'm sure, the part-time.
Yeah, it's appealing to
Yeah.
evidently many people.
That's how I started,
Definitely.
14
So-
hours a week.
Yeah, so as you know, Tracy left the other month. And then Aniela gave her resignation as well. So we will be hiring 2 part-time circulation assistants.
Mhm.
And I'm looking to set up interviews for next week. Hopefully they will be able to start early July. If we're able to move this along.
Can I add one note, please?
Yes.
If I may?
Absolutely.
I do want to just offer to the Board of Trustees that it's partially my fault that Aniela is leaving because I'm very excited to welcome her to our team at the Council on Aging. She's our
I was
new
gonna say.
Assistant Director at the Council on Aging, so I just
Yeah.
want to say congratulations to
It's a- it's
Aniela,
a
because
great
it's,
move.
yeah, it's
It's a nice
wonderful for the
move.
community.
It is.
So she won't be leaving, for any patrons watching, she won't be leaving our community, she's just gonna be moving to a different team.
They're not paying.
Assistant director, it's a nice,
Assistant COA director.
so it's a nice, lift.
She's gonna have a heck of a transition to the new property.
Yeah, definitely.
Very true.
Yeah.
We all,
From those
Well,
cover.
then maybe
Yeah.
she
Been
can
there, done that, by the way, so
probably
I
have
respect it.
some library activity.
So Aniela was or is, she's still here this week. This is her last week, so if you wanna say anything to Aniela before she leaves, please do. We are losing a huge asset, to this team. But she is the one who handles outreach to our homebound seniors, and she is absolutely phenomenal at it. So our patrons are going to miss her for sure. But it was, an ideal fit for her to go into this role, so I'm very excited for her, sad for us.
Is that role, the roles and responsibilities spelled out somewhere on a document so the next person that knows how she does that?
The circulation assistant.
Yeah, well, no, the
Or the
outreach,
outreach.
the direct outreach.
So right now that is being transferred to Paige, our circulation and ILL librarian, interlibrary room librarian. So she will be taking that over in the interim and then training the next person.
She won't stay in that, she's just doing it in the interim.
Correct.
She's great, she's
She's
really good.
Fantastic.
Paige, I've dealt with a
Yes.
lot, of the book club that I do. and
Her
she's
customer
great.
service is.
Oh, she's
supreme.
excellent,
Oh,
yeah.
they're all good. They're all
Yeah.
so good.
So she met with a few of the outreach patrons today, actually.
Good.
So just so they can put a face to
Beautiful.
the name,
That's
and so
important.
hopefully we'll have a smooth
Transition.
transition.
I'm
Good,
sure you will.
thank you.
But be happy that it continues.
Yes. So the goal is to get 2 circulation assistants on sooner rather than later. So I'm gonna continue working on that. Also, as you know, we will be down a director after the end of this month.
Who's
this-
leaving?
Yeah, word on the street is that the director's last day will be June 30th. So I'm working on getting everything buttoned up to the extent possible. Inevitably, there will be, a loose end somewhere, but hopefully we can get that as smooth as possible. And I'll let you talk more about that.
Can you share where the new director, the old director is going?
Not old yet.
Yeah,
The prior,
so,
Well, this third person, there's third person.
Constant, or what would we call it?
yeah,
Emotion,
so,
emotion.
Probably offline.
I'm happy to share. I'm very excited for the opportunity. There have been there have been so many library director postings. Very few have even tempted me to apply, and leave Middleton. I will say that it has been an absolute honor and joy to serve the town of Middleton. It's the town I grew up in. This is my library. I absolutely love it. But those who know me well, Middleton is my home, but my heart is in Maine, always has been. And
That was my guess.
my goal was to go to Maine.
Was it my guess, Allison?
And so, yes, so I will be the new director at Kennebunkport.
Oh, I love Kenny
Yes.
Bunkport.
So I get to seaside
I knew
every
it,
day to
Loretta.
work and take my lunch by the ocean.
I know how much you
So-
love going up there.
I
knew
do,
it.
I
I
do.
said definitely.
And so I genuinely did not think an opportunity like this would open up. I thought I would have to wait until retirement. But the timing was just serendipitous. It was too good an opportunity.
Population over there in Kenny Ross.
So most of the year, it's about 3,500, 3,500, but in the summer, it jumps up to
Of
over
course.
10,000.
Sure it does.
So,
Sure it
yeah.
does.
Beautiful.
So they're
town.
excited to have me come in and be there for the summer, and get them through their busiest time of year.
Absolutely beautiful town.
It is wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
We're gonna miss you.
I am very, very excited.
How does it always watch the
Very
ocean, be
bittersweet.
right by the ocean?
It's gonna, it's really gonna be
Real burden.
tough sitting,
Big-
taking
tough
taking
burden.
my lunch by the ocean every
Yes,
day.
it could be hard, Loretta.
Yeah, but the winter.
It's not worth it.
Back to reality, there we go.
That is actually something too, because my mom was like, oh, I couldn't do the winters in
It's
Maine.
Much
And
different than
I
here.
love the snow. I love snow.
It's not much.
And I always look forward to like
true
losing
Englander.
power in a snowstorm. I'm like, we never do that anymore. We never get that anymore.
Thank
So,
God.
Well,
I know,
Middleton,
yeah,
yeah, Middleton's really good. like-
Middleton's the best.
We would
Yeah,
We do have a
they-
fantastic-
It's a good plug
Yes.
for Meld.
We
Right
do
there.
have a fantastic light department. If they could just like ease up during a snowstorm every now and then, and
No.
for 15
You can
Park
shut the
Street.
lights off if you want it. We don't want our power out.
But in all seriousness,
Power to your house.
There you go. There you go. Just shut the light off if you want to feel that
my fridge will
feel.
still keep running.
That's great. Kenny Bunk is absolutely
Go
beautiful.
to Mel.
Yes, Kennebunk is beautiful, and the fact that it's in southern Maine, you know, I'll be.
Yeah, it's a
get home to
family,
Family,
yeah.
exactly, so,
Well, congratulations.
thank you.
Doesn't your family have a home up there too?
We have a place in Maine, yeah,
But,
further up, we're in central Maine.
oh, how far
Yeah.
from Kenny Bunk?
So
It's
it'll
not
be
like,
about
you-
an hour and a half drive
Oh.
from Kennebunk
so you're not
to get to
commuting,
our place.
To get your place.
you're not living at your parents' place, or
No.
your family's place in.
Oh, no, I'm living in Benson. I'm driving to.
Oh, you're gonna drive every day up to Kenny Bunk?
It's only an hour.
I was gonna say, it's not much.
There's
room.
no, you're not getting
No,
traffic, so
it's only-
it's like going to Boston.
There are a lot of places.
And I'm actually really this is gonna sound weird, but I'm actually kind of looking forward to having a commute because I'm gonna get through so many audiobooks.
It is.
It also gives me time to unplug from work before I have to go home and cook dinner and do the dishes and all this stuff. It'll be good. I'm not worried about it.
On behalf, sorry, you did more?
No.
On behalf of the town, our board here and personally, we appreciate everything you've done for so long. It's been
It's been an honor.
yeah, it's been amazing. You've done an amazing job and we appreciate everything you do. We're sorry to see you go. We're happy for Kenny Bunkport.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been wonderful. You know, I've grown a lot because of this board. So
Loretta, what
thank
is
you.
their staff? How many on
It's
staff?
a much smaller staff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, it
it's
has
a smaller
to be.
staff,
Small
smaller building.
town.
Yeah,
The little town,
Yeah.
3,000 people.
I know, but
yeah. it's
I
a very
actually
quaint-
once contemplated being the director in Sunapee, New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's up
that
there.
we had a ski house up there for years and I thought that would be a great retirement plan. They only had a population of 2,000 at the time, so it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, good, it's gonna be fun.
Town, my family's in as a year-round residence of 65.
Wow.
That's not.
Doesn't change from 65, doesn't
It
get
goes
higher.
up into the hundreds, but. yeah.
That's it.
Occasional birth or death.
Yeah.
On that.
No.
Probably more
the
deaths.
assistant-
I need there to be like 100 people if I'm gonna be in
Positions that were open, the assistant.
So, yeah, so right now, we will have. Where we have the assistant director position open, which that has been put on pause, that search has been put on pause. Until the new director comes on so that they can have their, you know, they can have a weigh in on
That's the right
the
way.
assistant, I agree, absolutely.
I felt bad because we were so close. Last word was we're so close to making a decision.
On the
I
assistant,
actually,
yeah.
I gave my notice the day I got the offer letter, like, I didn't even sign it and return it, like, I couldn't have done earlier, like, and I didn't know where it was gonna go.
No, but what I'm
so.
saying is are the candidates who came
For the
as
assistant.
close as assistant director, are they? How did we handle that?
I can speak to that.
With
if
a
you
voice.
don't mind, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Please do.
So I did speak with all three candidates and explained our timing situation. And all three, I gave all three the option to either withdraw their name or be put on ice. And all three are still very interested in the role and recognize what our timeframe is going to be. You know, I explained like, this is a months-long process. You know, we're looking at September before someone's walking in the door, before we pick this back up. And all three candidates, which will remain confidential, have agreed to stay on ice.
Okay.
They're that interested, and we had a wonderful, wonderful pool, that remains wonderful and just on hold for now, and we'll
Okay.
stay in touch with them. And, you know, provide them updates as we make our way through the search process. But I think it's gonna be a wonderful welcome gift to a new director to have three vetted candidates to choose
So
from.
those you had three, those are your three
We
finals.
have three, and they're all interested in staying on hold, so
Great.
very excited, a
And
wonderful welcome.
You don't
gift.
know if any of them are interested in applying for the director?
That's a question for them that I'm not ready to ask
Right.
them.
Okay.
At this time, they know we're going to be searching and they've all agreed to be put on hold until,
Okay,
and that's where we've
That's good
left it.
news.
Just gonna have to consider.
Yeah, and you know, time passes, things happen, but for now. A good hold.
thank you.
Thank you.
My only other comment to that is if anyone sees George Dow, word on the street is he's wondering why we're looking for a new director, so somebody can let him know.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it hit social media.
That's what I heard.
I guess
And I
Loretta
don't-
can talk to him.
What's that?
Loretta can talk to him, I guess. that'll be-
Yeah, why didn't he come and ask? Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know why he went to social media and didn't just call.
You,
I've known him my whole life. but
yeah,
Whatever. Facebook's the place to be, I guess, for some people, not for me.
I'm not on
Uh,
Facebook. so-
Let's, thank you again for all you've done. I
You have
think,
it now.
any other comments or
No.
we'll move on to the building
Are there
updates?
any other staff? No, we're closing on,
I'll get into that when we
Okay.
talk about services, but
okay,
so we are going to be down to admin on July 1st. And then hopefully, when we're currently, or after this week, we'll be down to service systems.
So
So,
I'm sorry, Loretta, you're gonna be down too? I didn't hear the,
so Aniela's still here this week,
yes.
but this is her last week. So
What's her
after this
title?
week,
Title?
she's circulation assistant.
Circulate, she's circ assistant. Okay,
So once she leaves, we'll be down to circulation assistants.
okay.
And then come July 1st, we'll obviously be down both admin positions as well.
Hopefully we'll get the new circus assistants in.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, that's the goal.
okay.
And bibliotemps is
No,
unfortunately
We don't have any biblioteca.
not a resource anymore.
No, so I'm covering Circ Desk more often than not, which is great. I get to see all my folks.
That could be a fun thing.
I love it. I get to see patrons. I get to talk books again. It's nice. So building updates. I was gonna thank the Friends for the beautiful new outdoor rubber mat that we have out there. The old one got pretty chewed up in the winter, so the Friends group kindly purchased a new one for us, so thank you.
The fact that 11,000 people have walked over it. Isn't that the number?
More than that.
Oh, it's over.
Oh, yes,
many years.
it's 40,000,
Yeah.
45,000.
Yeah. 45,000 people have
It's a lot of.
both ways, in and out.
Times
That's
two
quite a
feet.
Good point.
No
In the
offense to
winter.
someone who doesn't have to. Carry on. Sorry.
So I'm working with another vendor on getting prices for updating the electrical. Not PIN, programming system.
So the lights.
So, for the lights, so that we can hopefully get all of that.
To shut
squared
down
away.
at night.
they've been off
Correct.
some,
I'm coming in Saturdays,
Oh.
Sundays and Mondays when we're closed to shut the lights
oh,
off.
okay, because we noticed that they were off.
They will be on again after July 1st,
Hmm.
when I don't have a key anymore, but
Mark's gonna come in.
I'll give you the key, Mark.
Fine.
Give you a key and a building code and you can
That's
shut it.
great. Happy to. That's a good idea, actually. Need the person that emailing again.
Well, we have a.
I don't,
and
I
that's-
said the
we have-
same thing a few years ago, and it was a problem with the outside lights that were a problem, and then the parking light was off, but the building was on. I asked about that back then too, and you didn't realize.
It's been on the.
It's been a problem for a while.
We can connect in, seriously. we can
So,
connect in.
yeah, so, we're looking to get prices on that so we can move forward with it. It will unfortunately not be resolved before my departure, but at least the person coming in will have more information. Looking at the capital, sorry, I did not mean to sigh, I was just thinking of multiple things at once. Thinking of the capital assessment that you all voted on last meeting, thank you for that support. That will be handled by Justin in my departure, but that is still moving forward. There's a lot of things that will be put on pause until we get hopefully a facilities manager hired sometime soon.
Excuse me.
So the elevator is due for service. So I'm working with our elevator company on determining whether that hydraulic fluid needs to be replaced ASAP or whether that can wait a few months until we get the facilities manager on.
Is that facilities manager gonna be for
We're all part.
All public buildings.
so that won't come from the library's budget?
No, it'll be in, the DPW budget.
Okay.
It's a shared position.
The
All
salary,
public buildings
Right.
excluding the schools.
well said. Right, so the cost of the repairs would still come out of
Yeah,
our
yeah,
building
but-
maintenance,
The,
but the salary is not.
Yeah.
So those things will still move forward. But some of them are sort of on pause while we figure out timing wise what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
and when to.
okay,
Any questions on the building? So library programs and services. I sent out an email regarding Sundays in the summer. So for July and August, we will be closed Sundays during the summer. Just because we are short-staffed for now, and then circus assistants that we have coming on will be new and be in training and not yet ready to cover a circulation desk. But also too, it allows us some flexibility during the week to ask staff, you know, if there is a call out or someone's running late, that we have some flexibility that hopefully staff can either step in or shift their schedules. So rather than burden them with hours on the weekend and then additional hours during the week, it's just easier to focus on the week
now,
while
are
we
we
are so
closing
short staffed.
Monday like we used to?
So our summer hours, yes. So our summer hours will be the same otherwise. So
Close
we close-
Saturday, close Sunday,
and Monday,
close Monday.
right? So that's how we always were.
Yes,
Closed in the summer, we were
yeah.
closed Saturday, Sunday, Monday in the summer. We
Okay.
only opened Sundays the last few years.
But we have been open.
Correct, we have been. So this summer, because we are so short-staffed, and it's a weird situation that we're in. I did make the decision to be closed Sundays so that we are not burning up the staff, because inevitably, I mean, I hope everyone stays healthy, but you know, we will have call-outs and people need to be able to take their time off. So vacations, personal days, whatever it is, and I want to make sure that we have staff capacity to cover those. So
It's disappointing, very disappointing.
it's just, absolutely, it is.
But
I'd like
but
to chime
I don't
also-
understand, like, when you say that, you had said earlier, the CERC, 2 available positions for the CERC will be here in July.
We hope, we don't know, we're already at.
You have
June 10th.
54
We don't know.
candidates.
Correct, but I haven't even started the interviews.
Well, I can't imagine that out of 54, you wouldn't find 2.
Correct, but it's not about whether we'll find a person, we absolutely will find 2 people. It's just when we get through the process of interviews and when they can give their notice, whether they're 2 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know, at their current job.
And then
So
training.
they may not be able to start right away, and then we have to train them.
Well, they come
So-
with some
Well,
of them
hopefully
could
you'll get
be
someone who knows.
experienced.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, someone who's experienced knows our system, they'll just hop right in.
Not all of them, and that's
Yeah.
very, very few have library experience. They're working restaurants, they're working.
Out of the 54 candidates, you didn't see anybody with experience that you've looked at, those 54
We have,
candidates?
we have,
And then
but-
none of them have CERC
we have
experience?
2
2 out of 54 have CERC
that have
experience.
MVLC
MVLC.
services. We have academic library
No.
experience,
Mhm.
but that
Well, that
doesn't,
doesn't really
doesn't,
work.
it doesn't always transfer.
Yeah, we
So,
found that out.
Yeah.
um,
But I would.
We're
like-
getting off, we're a little bit off topic.
No, but I
Not
would.
really.
put on-
Oh, just details that,
Well, it's
Alright,
very
we'll do that.
disturbing to have the library closed for the whole summer, Sundays and Saturdays and Mondays. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days right there,
but if
and
you
then
don't have the
holidays.
staff. you
Well,
don't
Well,
have
I was
the
just gonna say,
staff.
so.
I don't think it should be a final thing, though. I think we should revisit this if you get 2 people that are, you know, experienced and saying shutting the door
and
today.
maybe that is the oncoming, you know, the incoming director. You know, you get a director, you get an assistant director, you get 2 circulation assistants that are up to speed. and
We're not
ready
gonna
to
get
go.
that for July, Loretta.
I'm saying in August though, like you said, if people want to revisit it, then that's the director's decision. Right now, I'm looking at what we have. And I don't want to set us up for failure. I want to be able to maintain our programming that we have planned for the summer. And also, again, to be able to have my staff to allow them vacation time that they've put in for.
But you'll be
So-
gone the end of this month, so am I guessing that a lot of this is gonna lean back on Justin and Jackie?
If I may, if I may,
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
I appreciate it.
We fully support the letter edit in this decision. As someone that was here a lot during the leave process, I'll be here a lot more this coming month. And through the summer months, as will Justin, we're gonna divvy the same duties that we did earlier this year and handle it the same way because we're now very familiar with those areas. It was tough to make the schedule this year with two admin down for a period of time. Reducing, 2 circus assistants will, there's some opportunity for bibliotemps, but it's very limited. And it's also very costly to do it. As you saw from your budget report, we're making it work because we were down in AD. So like, and I would offer that the most we get out of the bibliotemps is like circus assistant level support. So I would not feel, I don't feel comfortable with bibliotemps being like main makeup of staff on a Sunday. And unfortunately, because we need to allow people to take their paid time off, I think as much as it pains me, because I don't disagree with you, I want us to be accessible and open for this year, for this summer. It's not a precedent I want to set, but I strongly think for the benefit of the staff, we need to do it this summer so that we can maintain programming, have a successful summer reading, and allow time to focus. This board's gonna be busy with the library director search, 2 of your members on the screening committee, and then we'll have you all in for the main table interview for the finalists. So this body will be busy, we will be busy supporting the library and the staff. I know it's not something I like to do, I don't like to reduce service ever, but I think for the 2 months that it will happen, it will make a big impact on the morale for the staff and allow us to be successful through the summer. And please, it was not an easy thing to support, but I fully support the decision and,
So Jackie, let me say
Could
that
I, Justin too?
Oh.
Justin, do you have something you wanna add? I would
I
appreciate
can
it.
follow Allison.
Okay, I appreciate if you
well,
could say a few
I
words.
thank you, Justin. I just want to say that I have ultimate respect for the triple jobs you guys have been doing since we've been down. Admin people for the period, both admins for the period that we were in. Thank you. I don't know if we've officially, so I'd like to look at our public and say how much we do sincerely appreciate what you guys have done.
And we'll do again.
And unfortunately are stuck with doing it again, and I just don't know how this board can really make your job easier. If there were any way, I'd be happy to.
well, we'll have an executive session shortly, we can talk more.
Okay.
There you go,
Okay.
save it for
But what I
executive
did
session.
wanna say is that I want the public to understand how we all are, Maria has just expressed it, disappointed, as you just expressed it. Disappointed that this is the way it has to be temporarily. And I also wanted to ask, because, sorry that Bibliotemps has failed us, I wish,
I would offer that it is not a reflection on bibliotemps. It
okay?
is a reflection on the fact that there's not a lot of people temping right now.
So what I was going to ask is, in libraries I've worked in the past, when we've been in this situation, we put out a call to our consortium, which is a substantial number of libraries. How many in the Merrimack Valley Library Consortium, Loretta?
37,
Say again?
37 or 36.
36 or 37 libraries, to just ask, any one of you want to donate some hours, work a couple extra hours, there might be, especially on a Sunday. You might find that they don't work Sundays at their library, because a lot are closed in the summer.
Cause they're open on Saturday.
And they might come to us and say, I got 4 hours. And maybe you use them for Sunday and maybe you use them to fill in other times, but that's another way rather than just bibliotemps, so.
And I'm always, and thank you, and I'm always up for getting creative, and I think the stumbling block here is if it were trying to backfill in that way while we had the stability of a director and an assistant director full-time in place, we can cobble something together and make it work and get creative.
Okay.
I think that the issue for us is we're not gonna have the benefit of that, and a lot of it's gonna be falling on, Jackie and myself. And so I think Maria, for me to weigh in to answer your question, and I'm gonna echo a lot of what Jackie said. I fully support that determination. I think at this point in time where we're trying to make things work with a limited staff, the last thing that we want to do is be running full bore here, and if there's an opportunity for us to tighten up and reduce schedule a little bit, you know, to use a car reference, like if you hear a rattle in your engine, you're not gonna be punching it. You wanna take it easy on your car until you can get it into the shop. We need to get the library into the shop, which is probably gonna be when we get a new director on board.
Justin, do you think we're gonna have an opportunity to get an interim director while we're doing the hiring process?
That is on executive session, so we'll dig into that a little
Okay,
bit as well.
okay.
Longer term solution could be to have more full-time and part-time employees and add to the budget so that there are people here that in case that we need backups.
Great budget advocacy right there, Mark. You just spun that right back.
Shameless.
That was good.
And that has been the supplemental requests the last.
Yeah, it has been.
So, but
Full-time.
that,
I mean,
We've tried.
I would offer, one piece of feedback to that, cause it's true, more full-time staff would help. But to quote our finance director, more full-time staff also means more overtime and more benefited time off.
Mm.
So there is a fallacy there where if you just add bodies, it solves the problem. It actually just makes, yes, that there's more people to spread the weight amongst, but it doesn't solve every aspect of the problem. Certainly, we look forward to supplemental requests to review for more staff though.
And just, you know, we talked about, budget impacts from the federal cuts to, into state, level. The town's finances going into FY 27, we're just about starting FY 26, but we have to start thinking about FY 27. You can only raise 2.5%. And, this is an environment where, we had 17% increase on dental, health and insurance. If you read, stories, other, different, health insurers are, talking with the state about, raising it another 17-20%. So it's gonna have another huge impact, and unfortunately, the other avenue besides 2.5 is new growth, and for FY 27, we'll probably have one of our weaker years in recent memory. So there isn't going to be a lot of money available to address, different needs.
Still, I'm an optimist. Half full, the glass is half full.
realist, though. That's the truth of it, though. That's the-
It's
not
easier
what's
to
wrong with it.
raise the water level than to lower it.
I would also offer that I think our staff is very committed and, we're certainly gonna work with everyone in the library team this summer to ensure that the summer is successful. I already know I'm gonna be at the summer reading kickoff to support the staff and the team, at the end of June. So, we're prepared to dig in. We're not saying, we don't support Loretta in this recommendation, in this decision, without knowing that, like, we're also gonna be digging in this building this summer, the way we're still gonna already be digging into fiscal 27. I think it's a tough call to make, but I do think it's the appropriate call for the team's long-term health.
Agreed.
In an effort to, this is gonna be a lot of rebuilding this summer, and that's, has opportunities as, within its challenges. So
Thank you, thank you.
I think I look forward to seeing all of you as we're gonna see each other a lot this summer. It's gonna be great. Come on, Maria, get excited.
How are we gonna see?
We'll bring lemonade or
We were on
something.
the desk checking our
Be
books.
behind the desk checking. our
No, I
books.
could give you a reader's advisory, but I think that's the most you want from me, that and a budget maybe. Gotta be impressed, I picked up reader's advisory for my time here.
That takes a master.
Pretty good.
There you go.
Yes, all right.
So I think that's, is that everything?
So, nope,
I'm sorry,
sorry, no, that's okay.
keeping us moving.
So June 28th is Chief Will's Day. The library will be there for that. So come on down. We'll have our
Hope for good
beautiful
weather.
hot, I know. Who knows? The weekends have not been great weather-wise, but you'll see our beautiful tent. Thank you, friends. So right now, it looks like I have 3 staff members that will be, myself included, at the tent. So stop by and see us. The CPR training will be on June 24th. There are a few staff members from the library that will be participating. It is a town-wide CPR training. This is the first time that we've done it that way. Usually we have just library CPR. We partner with the fire station. But obviously they are getting very busy, so we're doing a
So
town-wide.
that's what I had a question on, if you don't mind. Is that a requirement of the job to be able to be certified with CPR?
It's not required in the job
Okay.
description, is that, if that's what you're asking?
Right, because I'm wondering what happens if a staff person can't pass CPR training. It's quite extensive. Very
All
strong.
staff members are CPR certified in our cancer. Training.
Yeah, okay, but it's not in the job description to have that certification.
You mean the job's even required?
It's not a
Job
requirement of
requirement,
the
it's a
position,
requirement,
but
right.
it is a benefit that we offer the employees to take the class.
Correct, I was just worried that
There's
someone,
no consequences if you
okay,
fail.
that's
We
my
certainly would
question.
work with people to get a passing. We
Okay.
have wonderful people in our fire department, our board of health, and our insurance company that.
It's just
And
heavy
I can
press on
tell-
that little Dolly's chest.
I
We
can
also
tell
do
you,
the
I've been a
training.
nurse I was a nurse for 37 years and nobody didn't pass the CPR.
Oh, wonderful.
And all the years that I was an instructor and I was also required to have CPR and there was nobody that didn't pass.
Perfect. And we do, part of that is the AEDs as well.
Yes, that's very important.
Excuse me, back up quickly, Chief Wills is at 4, the parade starts at 4, I think I just found.
Mhm.
Okay,
And then runs till 9:30.
The parades is open before that.
So the parade is, I know I'll be there around 11. so-
Yeah, it's open,
Okay.
but that's before.
the parade's at 4, but the actual activities are
Yeah,
at 4, that's okay.
area.
The sort of
Field.
the rides,
Mm.
you know, it started at like 5, because that's when like the parade, you know,
Right,
ends and.
okay.
But I don't know what time the parade is, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
think
it's like
4:30.
4:30.
4:30.
Probably the meeting.
But-
It's not a long parade from the barn to the field.
I'm gonna try to be there, I just wanna.
Wonderful.
get
If
it.
you'd like to help with the Flint tent, we could use another set of hands.
That's
Do
what.
that, so that's also
Oh, setting.
reasons. Just also too, just
Being
being
in-
there, yeah, so. If you're interested in volunteering in the library, let me know, that's okay.
Right.
Queensbury have their own. tent.
I'm already there doing other things.
It's always the same people in town, so to our thousands of viewers at home. Feel free to come volunteer, hope to have you. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. So we had a successful Memorial Day ceremony in town. It did start at the schools. They marched here to the library. We did the ceremony on the library grounds and then went to Oakdale. This year, I was in attendance and also one of our circulation assistants, Aniela, she was also there. So it was nice working with the town to make that happen. DPW did a fantastic job getting our grounds cleaned up. Actually, one of the times I came back, it was Paul himself on one of the mowers because he was short-staffed and didn't have enough of his crew to get to it. So came back from lunch and he was standing up riding one of the machines. So huge thank you to the DPW for all they did to get everything. They went through and mowed it first, and then they went through and cleaned up any of the spare or the fallen sticks and leaves that had hit after the mowing. So big thank you to them. A big thank you to the Veteran Services Director. He communicated very well this year, the needs of what he needed from the library. We were able to have our building open to store some of the equipment from the sound system in our library from when we left the library to go to the cemetery. So it just all in all, it was a wonderful collaboration between multiple town departments, including the garden club who got our flowers planted at our electronic sign. So I was just very impressed with how this year went. A big thank you.
Thank you.
And that is it from me.
Thanks, Loretta.
Thank you.
That's it, Loretta?
From the director's report, that is my final director's report to this board. Very bittersweet.
Take a bow.
But I genuinely thank you all for the years that I've had working with you. We've done a lot of great things. Keep up the good momentum, work together, listen to each other respectfully. Make some good decisions for the staff in this library because it is special. It's very special in this community. I mean, you know, you live here, so.
Okay, boss.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to move into executive session. And I guess we need a motion.
I make a motion to go
I
into
second.
executive session.
Motion by Maria, seconded by Allison, all in favor?
Aye.
You actually need a roll call vote, Mr. Chair.
You're right, I was thinking that. Mark Resky, aye.
Susan Bacoli, aye.
Yes.
That's a perfectly adequate roll call. You can just say yes.
Maria Pecos Hanson, yes.
Allison Sloan, yes.
All right, so we're officially in executive session, we'll stop the recording, move back into the waiting room.
Hang on, I'm letting someone in.
Mr. Allison, you want to put your,
I don't need to.
You wanna be it?
Nope.
I'll make a motion to
I would have
meet.
loved to have an executive
All right,
session.
so we've moved back into, welcome back, everybody, we've moved back into open session. Excuse me. Item H is to appoint an interim director if needed, and we're gonna table that till our next meeting. Announce that our next meeting is July 15th at 7 PM here at the Flint Public Library.
And you have an additional meeting on June 24th.
Thank you. And we have an additional meeting on June 24th, joint meeting with the select
Yeah.
board to appoint an at-large committee member. So hearing no other discussion, we'll move into adjournment.
So moved.
Maria's moved,
Second.
Allison second, all in favor?
It's just a it's just a,
You're moved.
so moved.
Thank you, Stephanie, for your late, staying with us so late.
Well, Stephanie.
Thank you. Do you guys need me there on the 24th?
Steph, if you want the hours, you can have them, or we can have the select board minutes person send you a summary.
I'll be there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Bye.
I would stay off
Bye,
camera and be in my
Stephanie.
pajamas if I was